Quan Chi, once a vile sorcerer, now something far worse. He has crossed boundaries. Mortal combat no longer contains him. The nether realm trembles at his transformation. He is now Kylo Ren Nazgûl, a being of terrifying power. His touch, once fatal, is now worse. He steals souls. Each soul fuels his power. He grows stronger with every theft. The realms shudder at his passing. His eyes, like burning embers, pierce the veil of reality. They see the flicker of souls. He craves them. Their essence, his to consume. His transformation is complete. The whispers started subtly. Like wind through dry leaves, they spoke of forbidden magic, of power beyond imagining. Quan Chi, ever the seeker of power, listened. Souls, they whispered. The key to ultimate power, to cheat death itself, to reshape reality. The whispers grew stronger. Quan Chi delved deeper. He learned of ancient rituals, of binding spirits, of consuming their essence. His being thrummed with dark anticipation. He would have this power. The whispers promised dominion over life and death, over realms unseen, over all creation. Quan Chi embraced the darkness. He would become a god. Outworld, with its brutal tournaments, had been his training ground. He had cheated death before, bargained with elder gods. But this was different. He remembered Shang Tsung, his own master consumed by Shao Kahn. A fate Quan Chi had narrowly avoided. He would not be a pawn. He needed more than Outworld's magic. He needed power on a grander scale. Power to rival the elder gods themselves. The whispers promised this. His transformation began. A fusion of magic, both familiar and alien. The Netherrealm's energies mingled with powers beyond his understanding. The whispers led him to ancient texts, forbidden lore from a forgotten world. They spoke of the Nazgûl, the Nine, slaves to the One Ring. They were once kings, mortals gifted with power, twisted and corrupted, their souls bound to the will of Sauron, their power immense. Quan Chi saw a reflection of himself, a desire for power, a willingness to embrace darkness. But he would not be a slave. He would be the master. He would take their power, their essence. He would combine it with his own, becoming something more than sorcerer, more than wraith. He would be a god. Section 5. The Force Awakens, a soul's journey to power. The whispers then spoke of another power, the Force, an energy field that connected all living beings, a source of unimaginable power. He learned of the Jedi, peacekeepers, wielding the Force for good, and the Sith, driven by passion, lusting for power. Quan Chi felt a kinship. The Sith sought to bend the Force to their will, to control life and death. Their methods were brutal, their power undeniable. Quan Chi approved. He learned of their rituals, their ability to drain life itself, to feed on the Force, growing stronger. This, combined with his own magic, was the key. Section 6. Stealing Breath, the Ritual of the Wraith. The ritual was long and arduous. It required artifacts of power, a relic of the Nazgûl, a Sith holocron, and a sacrifice, a soul pure and strong. He found his victim in Earthrealm, a young warrior, full of life. Quan Chi felt a flicker of regret, then dismissed it. Power demanded sacrifice. The ritual began. The air crackled with energy. The Netherrealm's green mist mingled with the ghostly blue of the Force. The victim screamed. Quan Chi chanted the words of power. The Nazgûl's essence flowed into him. He felt his form shifting, his senses sharpening. He embraced the pain. Section 7. The One Ring's influence, a hunger for souls. As the ritual reached its climax, Quan Chi felt the pull of the One Ring. The air around him crackled with dark energy, and the ancient runes on the altar glowed with an ominous light. He could feel the power of the ring calling to him, whispering promises of unimaginable strength and dominion. He reached into the fabric of reality, tearing through the very essence of existence. The veil between worlds was thin, and Quan Chi's mastery over dark magic allowed him to manipulate it with ease. To the land of Mordor, to its power, the dark volcanic landscape stretched out before him, a testament to the raw, untamed energy that lay within. The fortress loomed ominously, a beacon of the dark power that he sought to harness. He wouldn't be controlled by it. Quan Chi's will was ironclad, his determination unyielding. He had faced countless trials and tribulations to reach this point, and he would not falter now. He would take its power for himself. The dark object pulsed with energy, and Quan Chi could feel the raw power coursing through his veins as he drew it into himself. He drew upon its essence, its ability to dominate and control. The energy swirled around him, a maelstrom of dark power that he bent to his will, to bind to his will. His eyes glowed with an unearthly light as he channeled the energy, binding it to his very soul. The victim's soul was ripped from his body. The ritual was brutal, a testament to the dark arts that Quan Chi had mastered. The ethereal soul was torn from its mortal vessel, a sacrifice to fuel his growing power. Quan Chi felt a surge of power as he consumed it. The energy flowed into him, filling him with a sense of invincibility. He could feel the strength of the soul merging with his own, enhancing his abilities. His hunger, once for souls, now burned for something more. The power he had tasted was intoxicating, and he craved more. His eyes burned with an insatiable hunger, a desire that could not be quenched. He craved the life force of all beings. The energy tendrils reached out, seeking the life force of any who dared to come near. He would consume them all, adding their strength to his own, to fuel his own existence. Each life force he absorbed made him stronger, more powerful. He was no longer content with mere souls. He sought the very essence of life itself, to become a being of pure energy, existing outside the cycle of life and death. Quan Chi's ultimate goal was to transcend his mortal form, to become an ethereal being of pure energy. He would exist beyond the constraints of life and death, a god among mortals. Section 8. A galaxy of souls fueling eternal darkness. We look beyond Earthrealm, beyond Outworld, to the vastness of the galaxy. Billions of souls waiting to be consumed. He would have them all. He felt the presence of other Force users, Jedi and Sith alike. He would strip them of their power. He would consume their connection to the Force. He sensed the lingering spirits of the Nazgûl, bound to the One Ring, yet yearning for release. He would give them a new purpose, as his servants. Quan Chi, the Kylo Ren Nazgûl, had become a being of unimaginable power. His transformation was complete. His reign of terror had just begun. Section 9. The wise sorcerer's grasp, understanding life and death. In the ancient texts, it is said that the boundary between life and death is but a thin veil, one that only the most enlightened or the most malevolent can pierce. With each stolen soul, Quan Chi's understanding grew. He delved deeper into the mysteries that eluded even the most learned scholars and the bravest warriors. He saw the intricate tapestry of life and death, a web of connections that spanned across time and space, linking every living being in a dance of existence and cessation. The ebb and flow of energy between realms became as clear to him as the rising and setting of the sun. He understood that life and death were not opposites, but rather two sides of the same coin. He felt the joy and sorrow of each life he consumed. The emotions of countless souls coursed through him, each one adding a new layer to his ever-expanding consciousness. Their loves, their losses, their triumphs and their failures. Every moment of their existence became a part of him, a mosaic of human experience that he could draw upon at will, all added to his own being. He became a vessel for their collective memories, their hopes and their fears. He saw the folly of clinging to life, the inevitability of death. He realized that to fear death was to misunderstand the very nature of existence. Only he, with his stolen power, could escape this cycle. He believed that through his dark arts he could transcend the limitations that bound all other beings, could transcend his mortal shell. He sought to become something more, something beyond the reach of time and decay. And with this understanding came a terrible wisdom, a wisdom that was as cold and unfeeling as the void between stars, a cold, calculating logic that valued power above all else. He saw the world not as a place of beauty and wonder, but as a chessboard where only the strong could survive. Compassion and empathy were for the weak. In his eyes, they were chains that bound the soul, preventing it from achieving true greatness, and so he cast them aside, embracing a path of darkness and domination. Section 10. Quan Chi's ascendancy. A reign of fear begins. In the shadowy realms where light dared not tread, a new power was rising. His name was whispered in fear and awe, a name that would soon be etched into the annals of history. His power resonated throughout the realms, a dark symphony of chaos and control. The very air crackled with his malevolent energy, and the ground quaked beneath his feet. The nether realm trembled before him, its denizens cowering in the shadows, fearing the wrath of their new overlord. His presence was a storm, a force of nature that none could withstand. Earthrealm braced for his coming, its warriors steeling themselves for the inevitable clash. They knew that the battle ahead would be unlike any they had faced before, a struggle for the very soul of their world. The Force bent to his will, a malleable tool in his hands. He wielded it with precision and cruelty, shaping it to serve his dark purposes. He would remake reality in his own image, twisting the fabric of existence to suit his whims. Mountains crumbled, rivers boiled, and the very sky seemed to bow to his will. He would reshape existence to suit his whims, creating a world where his dark vision reigned supreme. A world where fear was the currency and power was the only law. Those who served him would be rewarded, their loyalty bought with promises of power and dominion. They would become his instruments, extensions of his will. Those who defied him would be consumed, their resistance crushed beneath his heel. Their souls would be devoured, their essence fueling his dark magic. He dispatched his Nazgûl servants to the far corners of the realms, to gather souls, to spread fear. They were his harbingers, the dark messengers of his coming reign. To prepare the way for his coming, they laid traps and sowed discord, ensuring that no corner of the realms would be safe from his reach. The galaxy would tremble before him, its stars dimming in the face of his dark power. Planets would quake and civilizations would fall. Mortal combat would be but a footnote in his reign, a mere distraction in the grand tapestry of his conquest. The fighters would become pawns in his game, their struggles insignificant in the face of his might. He was Quan, the Kylo Ren Nazgûl, a dark sorcerer whose name would become synonymous with fear and domination. And he would rule all, his reign of fear stretching across the realms, unchallenged and absolute. The age of Quan had begun, and none would escape its shadow. Section 11. A new balance, darkness rises, light endures. But even in his moment of triumph, a flicker of doubt remained, a whisper of the souls he had consumed, their collective will, resisting his own. He felt the stirrings of opposition, the resilience of life refusing to be extinguished, a glimmer of light in the encroaching darkness. The battle was far from over. The forces of good, though scattered and weakened, would rise again. They had to, for the sake of all creation. A new balance would be found, a balance born of conflict, of sacrifice, of the eternal struggle between light and darkness, and Quan would be at its heart.